Welcome to today's show. Returning from the beyond to live big, Felice DiMartino's vegan near-death experience, part 1 of 2. A near-death experience, or NDE, encompasses profound psychic, conscious, semi-conscious, and spiritual encounters occurring when an individual approaches death or enters the process of dying due to life-threatening events. Scientists have long probed near-death experiences for insights into the human brain. Science cannot fully convey the extraordinary out-of-body element in NDEs, where individuals encounter light, love, and a profound connection to a greater self. These soul-changing experiences defy full scientific explanation, imprinting a deep and lasting impact on those who undergo them. Felice DiMartino, vegan, an intuitive healer and spiritual guide, holds a vivid near-death experience that is deeply illuminating. With 35 years of service in education and healing, drawing wisdom from spiritual masters and indigenous healers worldwide, she holds certificates in various modalities, blending neuroscience and energy medicine. In 2015, after completing her day's work, a life-altering incident occurred. She was struck by a large truck while crossing the street.
I had been a Montessori teacher at a preschool for over 20 years, and I was leaving work, and my car was parked at a lot off of school grounds. I had to walk to a corner. It was a busy intersection, and up from behind me came a large pickup truck, and it made a left-hand turn. And I was 3/4 of the way across the street, and her truck struck my right side of my body. I whipped my head around to the right to see her. After that moment, I started leaving my body. I was ejected from my body. I could see the scene below me. I saw my body lying on the ground. I saw the whole scene. I saw that there was a man and 2 women that had gotten out of the car. I could feel what they were feeling, and there was a sense of panic. There was a sense of being horrified. There was a sense of being scared. I could hear everything that was going on and see it, but with senses other than my physical eyes and ears.
At the scene of the incident, Miss DiMartino ascended into a distinct realm, which she described as an illuminated black realm. This experience set her near-death encounter apart from others.
I started to go up higher and higher, and immediately, as I got to a certain point, I was immersed in total, complete blackness. Like the blackest black that is even imaginable. Yet this blackness had a quality of being illuminated. It was like there was light in the blackness. This blackness was expansive. There was a sense of timelessness. There was peace. There was simply being. There was no conscious thinking. There was no ego. It was pure peace, and it felt nourishing. I have come to call the field of oneness. At some point, there was a shift, and I found myself in another place, a different degree of that blackness. I had a sense that I was in a cocoon, floating. There was no masculine, feminine. It's like this place had qualities that we attribute to both the masculine and the feminine. It felt like I was encased in a womb, really. And in my periphery, there were others that were also encased. So imagine that you're in blackness and there are like these luminescent, transparent beings. I understood that this was some sort of a waiting, a holding place.
As soon as Miss DiMartino began to ponder the meaning of the holding place, she was ushered into another realm, where she encountered a divine presence.
In this place, there was this bright, luminescent light, and there was a being that was present that was other than my own, that was made of this light. And it didn't really have shape or form, yet I could sense and I could tell that this being was there. Maybe it had a faint form that merged in with this luminescent light.
Felice DiMartino was moved into the ambulance with multiple fractures, internal bleeding, and a brain injury. Unaware of her injuries, after the encounter in the Black Realm, Miss DiMartino's soul entered a bright space, having a deep conversation with a divine presence.
And I understood that this being, this presence, was there for me, was there with me, was there to guide me, was there to answer any, what we say as questions. And it felt as though this being was there to share information with me. It felt like all of this information was being transmitted to me telepathically. I understood everything that was happening in my life at that time on the earth from a multidimensional perspective. I understood how my soul came to be in its journey. There was a lot of information transmitted about being a soul in a human body and a soul as I was existing in this place. When it was time to get back, I assured the presence and myself that I would remember all that was transmitted. And before I left, the presence said to me, it communicated to me, when you go back, it's time to live big. As I was about to come back, the last thing that happened was I said, "Who are you?" And I heard, "I am you." So it was like my soul, my essence was in communion with this presence as one.
This conversation had a profound impact on Felice. It reminded her of her dream in life and the greater service one can make to the world.
When I heard it's time to live big, right before I came back into the body, again, what was shown to me was relative to what was going on in my life and the places where I wasn't listening to my intuition and the places that I wasn't listening to what I know. So it was a real wake-up call for me to live big, live as the fullest expression of myself and what's calling to me, all based in service. Also, what I want to say about the living big is people have an inner self. There was an understanding of what was shown from my life and what was shown for the collective. And living big, shining our light bright, following our guidance and our intuition, which is in communion with the voice of our soul, which is in communion with love. And that is what live big means, living without that fear. There's so much fear we have, and there's so much that holds us back because we're wired in our nervous system, in our primal brain, in our experiences, through the culture that we grew up in, to be in certain ways. And then we don't listen to our soul. We don't listen to what we know or what we have access to in our soul. We're all needed to live big, right? We're all needed to live as the fullest expression in connection with the voice of the soul, which is love.
Before Miss DiMartino descended back, she was also ensured that all is truly well. The ensuring voice continued to accompany her after she returned to her body.
I had a sense in the space that I was in that all was truly well. All is truly well, all of the time. Even though we go through these human dramas, on the bigger level, in the capital T truth of who we are, all is truly well, even though it doesn't seem like that. When I came back into the body, I heard from this presence that I had communed with in that space, in my near-death experience, when I got a call from someone who I had been having some tension with a month later. I heard that same presence say to me, all is truly well, like that reminder in the moment of having a human experience that all is truly well.
Thank you, Felice DiMartino, for sharing a remarkable glimpse into the transformative power of encounters with the divine. May the reminder that all is truly well serve as a guiding force, inspiring humanity to overcome challenges and reconnect with their true selves.
Vegan, the true Jane.
Thank you, noble viewers, for being with us today.